All right, I'm in a restaurant at a cold place with some mic in right now. But anyhow, what I want to talk to you guys about is about opportunity cost, right? We are creatures of habit and we get stuck in these ruts, right? And we look for a supporting cast, right? And that's both in the positive and negative, right? See, sometimes when you're trying to get out of the negative space, right? You're looking for people to be positive, right? But what you don't understand is energy attracts energy, right? And yes, there's people out there who are just naturally healers, right? Where am I going with this? What is the crypto guy talking about, right? And then so this is what I'm trying to say is that wherever rut you're in, like even when I was stuck with depression and all this other kind of stuff, I conveniently was surrounded by people who were also experiencing the same mental illnesses that I had, right? And then when I say mental illness, I know that's going to be taken out of context, not a psychologist, right? So, anyhow, what I want you to realize, right, is that we look for confirmation biases everywhere, right? We look to affirm ourselves in different avenues, no matter what it is, right? We can buy the bumper sticker, we can post a motivational quote, or whatever it may be. You could do all the above. But the one thing that many people do not actually understand is that when you're negative, what you're doing is surrounding yourself with people who are also negative. That's your tribe. Tribalism is one of the things that is at an all-time high. See, what I want you to start considering is that when you get stuck in these ruts, start recognizing, take a step back. And if you're in a rut right now, why don't you be someone and become someone who is more aware of your surroundings and the things that you are capable of and in control of? Because there's also this thing where a lot of people don't understand that we're not given much time and we're also don't know how much of it that we have. It's a transaction that in this life that you don't understand, and that's what opportunity cost is, right? Because that once these moments passed and you no longer can do the things that you wanted to do, or you missed an opportunity, like say that I wish I had bought Bitcoin at $15,000, right? Or I wish I was around to buy Amazon. Instead of buying snacks, I should have been buying real estate in 2008, right? But then you come into a time, right, where we live in the age of information, right? Where ignorance is a choice. And I say that because many people do not understand, right, that you can Google anything. And I'm someone who openly just, I despise people who say quick Google search, because Google search, you can pay money to be the first up. You can use trends now. And then there's just tons of different things about a quick Google search. The it's kind of the intellectual decline that we're going on, right? And it's like a lot of people don't want to do the work even to properly educate themselves. Everybody wants everything to happen really fast, right? So I say all this, right, because what I want you guys to understand is that we're living in one of the greatest times in human history. The playing field has never been this level before, right? This is one of the things that many people do not understand, is that like you having this video, me being able to sit out here on vacation and share this video and these thoughts with you guys and be able to put it somewhere where everyone in the world can see it, right? I don't take that for granted. I'm specifically making this video because even if, let's say this, right? Even if you were in the content creation space, right? And you're somebody who needs to do it. Like say that you're a homemaker, right? And you see this person on the internet and they're making home, they're making space, and they're doing all this stuff and they're thriving doing it. Meanwhile, you could be doing the same thing, but you're actually choosing not to do it, right? And it could be because of fear. It could be because of that negative self-talk that you tell yourself, right? It's how you're like, oh no, I would do it, but I have these kids, right? Then why don't you make videos about being the person with kids that actually does that, right? And Gary Vee is the person who made me think about this the most more than anything, right? If you don't the biggest hater in your life is yourself, right? You're the person who looks in the mirror at yourself. You're the one who thinks that you need to fix your teeth. You need darker skin. Like, and then because you think that way, this goes back into energy matches energy. Because you think that way, right? You're going to point that out to somebody. Like when you have the pimple, right? And you're like, do you see the pimple? And someone's like, I don't even notice it. Yes, there is people who sometimes say that to be courteous, right? But what I'm saying is overall, most people don't understand the things that you do because you're your worst critic, right? And that's what I mean by you are your biggest hater, right? Then you got to be mindful of, if this is still talking about content creation, right? That there's going to be people around and out there, right? That they're in such a negative space, right? That the only thing that they actually want is to make people feel equal to them, right? And this is going to happen all the time. I actually think about this a lot, actually, right? Is that a lot of people and things in the world is so ego-based that some people, it's the crabs in the barrel theory, right? To where you don't want anyone to be above you, right? You constantly looking for advantages that other people have over you. And you just get caught in this proverbial pissing contest with other people about things that really don't truly matter to even you. It's just like, you could be the person who's like doing all right in life, right? And then you pass it, and then I know a lot of people are going to take this out of context. It's like, you're like, I want to help the homeless, right? But you can actually make more of an impact on helping the homeless instead of leaving a comment on a video of someone helping the homeless people about how to protect their integrity, right? And the thing is, the homeless person on the street, people who want help and need help, do not care at what expense it comes to. Like, and you have to start realizing that. Like, and then people take the social media stuff for granted. Like everybody's doing something for likes and comments, and you're doing this for likes, right? No, I'm doing this because I have a platform and I feel like I have something to say that isn't negative. It's more inspirational, right? And the things I do is like, and I see like I'm being the change I wish to see in the world, right? And then all I'm doing is really ranting. That's all this stuff is. It's like, I'm just getting thoughts that's in my head out, putting it out in the world. So maybe actually the coolest thing, that really why I make videos and the things I talk about and do, is because I would like my kids, when they get on social media, right? And they see their father out there, they see him trying to make a difference, trying to change people's lives, right? And that's important to me more than your like, your comment, your share, your subscribe, your follow, anything. Like, this is what I meant by we live in the greatest time in human history. But the thing that's ironic is that although we have all these electronics and technology to actually make this easier for us, right? We need to get back to writing, the pen and paper, pad, and start writing all this stuff down, right? Because I feel like in a cataclysmic, no, it's hard for me. In atrophic, there we go. I changed the word. I saying the same thing like a synonym. So anyhow, it's when it becomes to a catastrophic event like inclement weather, floods, fire, whatever it may be, hurricane, quake, whatever it be. When the technology and electricity is gone, all of our documented files are going to be in some cloud server in the sky, right? Or not even in the sky. It's in a data server in a microchip, right? That's digitized in some farm that's probably destroyed, and they're going to have to restore it, right? And then there's some interesting things if you listen to Billy Carson and things like that. Like there's some very interesting things about civilization, and the earth has cycles, right? So even us being here in this time in human history, like this is what we're leaving behind. This is everything that we have. This is what we're doing. This is why we're here. And this is all we have. This is what are we going to do about it? Jump to Mars? You and I will probably pass away before that happens. See, Elon's laying the foundation, and then he needs someone who's just as inspired to carry the torch. And that's when I really started this podcast and this video about just being a person who doesn't get sucked into the wrong situation, right? You get caught up being the influencer of negativity, right? I'm a skeptic. I'm loud. I dislike this, right? I dislike him. I dislike her. Well, talk about what you like. Talk about what you care about, right? Too many people, and I'm going to wrap this up because I think that truck is really loud and I think my microphone isn't working all too well. But I want you to keep in mind that everything that you say and do is impactful. The talking points, and I don't mean that spiritual stuff, right? Even though sometimes it may be, right? But what I'm saying is pay attention to the words you say, the things you do, the people you surround yourself by, right? And I don't mean just like, I'm surrounding myself with powerful people. I've been around successful people who don't align with my mindset, right? And then like, and it's not about the money. I'm not saying, yeah, if you sing around 5 successful people, you'd be the 5th. I want to be mentally and spiritually successful. Money is not my master. Is money a necessary tool to do the things that you want? How do you get to places like this, right? How do you buy equipment like this with money? How do you afford food? How do you, like, education is actually more accessible than many people believe. Many people are too proud to ask questions to people because that goes back to the ego thing, that you feel inferior by asking someone who you feel superior to in some way, or that the way you view yourself, you feel so inferior that you're afraid to ask. And you just got to check your ego. It looks like the sun's coming up. It's a little loud. I'm an early morning person. I used to be up for the wrong reasons a long time ago. Guys, I hope you enjoy this video. Subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube. I'm going to put this up, and I pray and wish you guys the best of times.